Alrighty, here we are on lesson 10, angle problems and solving equations. So the first part of this lesson is just going to be some definitions of angle relationships, and then we will use those definitions to write equations and solve them to find the measurements. So when I take away the box, make sure you put the angle fact in the box on your note packet so you have those down to help you. Alright, the first one is adjacent angles. And an adjacent angle are angles that share a common side. So basically they're next to each other. So if you look at the example over here in the diagram, angle A and angle B are adjacent angles. Alright. The second one is vertical angles. And vertical angles are angles that share a common vertex. Another thing I want you to note here is that they are equal in measurement. So if you look at the diagram, angle A and angle B are vertical angles. So they would both have the same measurement here. The next one is angles on a line. Oops. Take the box away. Alright, angles on a line are angles that add up to 180 degrees. We also call those supplementary angles. So if you looked at all of these, angle A, B, and C, those would all add up to 180 degrees. The next one is angles at a point, and that's just angles that add up to 360 degrees. So if you go all the way around, it'd be 360, so that's how you know what they add up to. And then the last one here is complementary angles. And complementary angles are angles that add up to 90 degrees. So whenever you have a right angle, however many angles there are inside, those are complementary. Alright, so make sure you have all of those written down. And then flip over to the next page. And it says, use the diagram to complete the chart. So first we have vertical angles. So remember, vertical angles are those that are across from each other. So we could say, change my pen, angle A, E, C, and angle B, E, D are vertical angles. So if I drew it on the picture here, here's A, E, C, and then over here, B, E, D. Okay? Remember to always use the angle symbol and all capital letters when you're talking about angles. Alright, adjacent angles, those are ones that are next to each other. So adjacent angles, we would have angle A, E, G, and angles D, E, G. So for labeling them, A, E, G be here. And then D, E, G would be the one right next to it. Okay. Angles on a line are angles that are supplementary. That would be angles A, E, C. And then angles C, E, F. And then our last one would be angle F, B, E. So all of those that are on top here, these three, A, E, C, that's on a very straight line. All of those are our supplementary angles. And then angles at a point, those would just be all the angles. Alright. So example 1 here says, state the angle relationship shown, and then write an equation for the angle relationship to solve for x. So if we're looking at these are supplementary angles because they add up to 180 degrees. Alright, so if we write an equation, we would take our x plus our 132, and this whole thing would equal 180. So when we solve for x, we subtract 132 on both sides, and we get x equals 48. So that means angle BAC is 48 degrees. Alright, go ahead and flip the page. We've got some more examples here. Right, again it says state the angle relationship that's shown. So all of these again are supplementary angles. And now the one thing we have to notice here is this little square down here in the middle. This means that this angle is 90 degrees. So when we go to write our equation, that means we'd have 3x plus 90 plus 2x equals 180. So first we combine like terms. So we have 90 plus 5x equals 180. Then we subtract 90 from both sides. We get 5x equals 90. We divide by 5. And we get x equals 18. But now to find the angle values, first for angle BAC, we'd have to do 3 times 18, which would be 54 degrees. And then angle DAE would be 2 times 18, which would be 36 degrees. Alright, so just because you get x doesn't mean you necessarily have the angles. Don't forget to go back and look. Example 2 here, same idea. We're trying to find angle LEB and angle KEB. So, when you have lines that make an X, you're going to have some vertical angles. So our first set of vertical angles would be this here that I'm going to put in blue. So Y and the 144. And then our second option would be our X and the one across from it. So, if we start off by finding one of them first, we could go a few different ways. First of all, we know that Y is going to equal 144 because of vertical angles. So that takes care of that. And then over here, we have supplementary angles. So we would have X plus 144 equals 180. We subtract 144 from both sides. And when we do that, we get X equals 36. So to get our measure of angle LEB, that would be 36 degrees. And then angle KEB would be 144 degrees. Okay, so those are our answers. Alright, exercise 2 here. Same idea, we just have some more angles thrown in. And we are looking for angle JEN. So that's this 3x right here. So, when we take a look at it, some of you might be like, well, how do we know for sure that it's a vertical angle? So, what you can do is you can always extend the lines out. Alright, if we're looking down this line here, I'll highlight it in orange. Where does that go to? But then if we're using this line, we see that our vertical angle is going to encompass both of those smaller angles. So that means when we write our equation, we're going to have 3x plus that 16, and that whole thing equals the 85 degrees. So we subtract 16 from both sides, and we get 3x equals 69. Then we divide by 3 on both sides, and we get x equals 23. So now to find angle, combine all the words, JEN, remember we have to do 3 times 23, which would give us 69 degrees. Alright, go ahead and flip the page and do a few more here. So first it says to state the angle relationship and then write an equation. So these are angles at a point. So that means all of them add up to 360. So remember again, this means 90 degrees. So we would have 90 plus x plus 135 equals 360. So we combine like terms, we have x plus 225 equals 360 minus 225 on both sides. And we get x equals 135. So to answer the question, angle EKF is 135 degrees. Alright, this last one we're going to save for in class, so don't worry about it. And then at the bottom there's just some more examples of vocabulary, but that's all we're going to do for this video.